Some people think I'm an alien. Not true. Like, think of like the difference in intelligence between the cortex and your limbic system is gigantic. Your limbic system really has no comprehension of what the hell the cortex is doing. It's just literally hungry, or tired, or angry, or sexy, or something. And then that communicates that impulse to the cortex and tells the cortex to go satisfy that. So then a great deal of, like, a massive amount of thinking, like truly stupendous amount of thinking, has gone into sex without purpose, without procreation, which is actually quite a silly action in the absence of procreation. It's a bit silly.
Well,
so why are you doing it? Because it makes the limbic system happy. That's why.
That's why.
But it's pretty absurd. Really? Some of these questions, by the way, I'm seeing as you're seeing them. What do I do for relaxing? Well, it may not shock you, but sports is not like a thing that I do a lot of. Yeah, hang out with my kids, see friends, normal stuff. Sometimes go crazy on Twitter. It's sort of there was a little red wine, vintage record player, some Ambien. Magic happens. In the case of the Gigafactory, it's a $5 billion capital investment to get that factory going. And I didn't actually know this until, by the way, I didn't know this until we did the press conference. Actually, that over 20 years, the Nevada incentives added up to $1.3 billion. I actually didn't even know this. But it's,
now he's telling you. Go ahead.
Literally, I learned it at the press conference. I'm like, really? No, but I mean, the thing is that they took what added up over 20 years and made it sound like Nevada was writing us a $1.3 billion check. And I'm still waiting for that check. Did it get lost in the mail?
If there's ever sort of a apocalyptic scenario of some kind, hypothetically, you just press the bioweapon defense mode button. This is a real button. Yeah, we're trying to be a leader in apocalyptic defense scenarios.
Have you had conversations, by the way, with any of the people who've been in accidents?
Yes.
What do they tell you?
It's the best car they've ever driven. In all three cases, they think they were saved from serious harm by the Model S, and if they'd been in a different car, they would have been seriously injured. And in the case of the second fire, probably dead. In the case of the second fire, that was in Mexico. It was, I won't comment publicly on the exact speed, but it's sort of 4 times the maximum kinetic energy that a car is supposed to be survivable at. The accident was in multiple parts. The first impact was a concrete roundabout where 15 feet of concrete wall was sheared off, of 8-inch thick concrete wall. It was a curb wall, so, like a foot high type of thing. Then the car bounced into a 7-foot tall concrete wall, smashed through that. But by this time, the wheels had been torn off. So we're just skating along on its belly, basically, on the battery pack. And then it finally came to a rest against a tree. The driver and passengers got out and walked away. Afterwards, there was a small fire in the front.
Final fire!
In terms of production, the thing that's going to be the major challenge for us over the next 6 to 9 months is how do we build a huge number of cars. And frankly, we're going to be in production hell. Welcome. Welcome to production hell. That's going to be where we are for at least 6 months, maybe longer. But you guys know that. You're veterans. I've been through this. So I look forward to working alongside you to journey through hell. And as the saying goes, if you're going through hell, keep going. Probably wondering, okay, will I be able to charge my car? Well, this is probably the second most common question I get on Twitter. The supercharger is full. What is wrong with you? Why are you such a huge idiot? I'm like, sorry.
Generally, you want to embark on something, it's desirable to figure out if success is at least one of the possibilities.
Right, exactly.
Because for sure failure is one of the possibilities.
Yes.
But ideally you want to try to bracket it and say success is on envelope of outcomes.
Yeah.
And I wasn't quite sure if that was the case. I mean, I think success on an academic level would have been quite likely because you can publish some useless paper, and most papers are pretty useless.
We have a few. Don't take offense. Sorry.
I mean, how many PhD papers are actually used by someone ever? I mean,
no, that's a good point.
Percentage-wise, it's not good.
Yeah.
So it could have been one of those outcomes where you add some leaves to the tree of knowledge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that leaf is nope, it's not possible.
For the early people that go to Mars, it'll be far more dangerous. I mean, really, it kind of reads like Shackleton's ad for Antarctic explorers. It's like difficult, dangerous, good chance you'll die, excitement for those who survive, that kind of thing. And I think there's not many people who actually want to go in the beginning, because all those things I said are true. But there'll be some who will, for whom the excitement of the frontier and exploration exceeds the concern of danger. And they will start off building the most elementary infrastructure, just a base to create propellant, a power station, glass domes in which to grow crops, all of the sort of fundamentals, without which you cannot survive. And then really there's going to be an explosion of entrepreneurial opportunity, because Mars will need everything from iron foundries to pizza joints to nightclubs.
Definitely pizza joints.
I think Mars should really have great bars, the Mars bar. I love dad jokes. Huh?
Maybe this is one of those things. Maybe we should realize that you can't hit the switch on something that's going to be able to think for itself and make up its own mind as to whether or not it wants to survive or not, and whether or not it thinks you're a threat. And whether or not it thinks you're useless. Like, why do I keep this dumb, finite life form alive? Why keep this thing around? It's just stupid. It just keeps polluting everything, and shitting everywhere it goes, lighting everything on fire and shooting each other. Why would I keep this stupid thing alive? Because sometimes it makes good music, sometimes it makes great movies, sometimes it makes beautiful art, and sometimes it's cool to hang out with. Like,
yes, all those reasons.
Yeah, for us, those are great reasons.
Yes.
But for anything objective, standing outside, I go, oh, this is definitely a flawed system. This is like if you went to the jungle and you watch these chimps engage in warfare and beat each other over the head with sticks. They're fucking real mean.
They're fucking mean.
They're real mean.
I saw that movie Chimpanzee. I thought it was going to be like some Disney thing. I was like, holy cow.
What movie was that?
It looks pretty cool, Chimpanzee.
Who is it? A documentary?
Yeah, it's kind of like a documentary. I was like, damn, these chimps are mean.
They're mean.
Yeah, they're cruel.
Yeah, they're calculated.
We built the Tesla Roadster, got it into production in 2008, and shipping that car. It's now a collector's item. Then so we built a more affordable car with the Model S. We did that. Again, we were told that's impossible. I was called a fraud and a liar, and it was not going to happen. This is all untrue. Okay, famous last words. Now we went into production with the Model S in 2012. It exceeded all expectations. There is still, in 2019, no car that can compete with the Model S of 2012. It's 7 years later. Still waiting.
So the basic proposition would be, would you like a roof that looks better than a normal roof, lasts twice as long, costs less, and, by the way, generates electricity? It's like, why would you get anything else? Like, maybe there's a reason, I'm not sure what, but...
That's what the free market... I don't mean to have it in black and white. It's like, it's not so long ago. They didn't even have color cameras back then. It was 2010. And we're also building a factory in China, which I'm really excited about. As you can see, it's very impressive. Very impressive. A large puddle. It's really just the cost of building the tunnels, and but really, a tunnel's a hole in the ground. Like, how hard can it really be? I mean, just... in the beginning, people said, well, you're not going to be able to make a car that looks good and goes fast and has long range. And then we did. And then they said, well, nobody's going to buy it. So then, thank you for buying, by the way. So this is a roof that's going to be better looking than a normal roof. It's going to last practically forever. Like, I wanted to have an infinite year warranty, but then the finance department said, well, that's difficult to account for. So I said, well, okay, it's infinite or when your house falls down, whichever comes first. People get the message across. How long of a wait will it be for customers wanting Model 3 and haven't placed a 1K deposit? This will be a long wait. There's a lot of people that have ordered the car. I'm guessing if you put a deposit down on Model 3 now, it's probably, well, it's going to be over a year, end of next year before you get it, something like that.
On the other hand, there are more and more deposits every week, so if you want it, then definitely put down the deposit. The line isn't getting shorter.
The Model S, 3, X, and Y. We get some fun things. For example, we added BART mode to the car. So in terms of our unique selling point, our is the only car that can park on command. Yeah, so you can, a key feature of this car is you can make it sound like the BART's coming from anywhere in the car. There are a lot of people out there that have said sort of a car like this is, about as real as a unicorn. Well, today you've had a chance to ride a unicorn.
So perhaps I'd like to start and ask you if you could elaborate a little bit on what we've seen on the video.
Okay, that was quite a lot. Well, I mean, what we're seeing there is, and I just like our communications team put it together, so I just saw it for the first time in the back there. Probably a bit too
so
much
perhaps I'd
slow-mo.
like to start and ask you if you could elaborate a little bit on what we've seen on the video.
Okay, that was quite a lot. Well, I mean, what we're seeing there is, and I just like our communications team put it together, so I just saw it for the first time in the back there. Probably a bit too much slow-mo. We do hire some MBAs, but it's usually in spite of the MBA, not because of it.
This is how it is today. It's pretty bad. So, that sucks, exactly. I just want to be clear, because sometimes some people are confused about this. This is real, okay? And if we do nothing, that's where it's headed, to levels that we don't even see in the fossil record. So this is, well, I think we collectively should do something about this, and not try to win the
We also have
Darwin
the most
Award.
energy efficient cars in the world. So this is the EPA miles per kilowatt hour, and you can see the Model 3 is at around 4, and then it ranges off to the right. I don't want to pick on the e-tron, but it's there's room for improvement. So e-tron. All right. If you speak French, that's quite funny.